the mortuary. Like if you go to from funeral home to internment, if you pay, you're covered.
Okay. All right.
So it is. I think it is something that we need to really look at, because the community is getting exhausted.
Actually was the month of reggae, following a landmark ruling by Kenya Supreme Court on the Building Bridges initiative, and we extensively covered this topic. This was also the month that our presidential candidate Raila Odinga came to DC for the Azimio in DC event, which was proudly live streamed by Kilimanjaro Studios. And then we also hosted John Maina in studio, who was part of Raila's team. Now, still in news and politics, we talked about political party nominations in Kenya. There were impending deadlines on e-passports, Huduma numbers, and Safaricom SIM card registration. Then on
that was a really good topic.
Yes, those were really good topics. And also on the guest list this month was the president of the Africa Welfare Association, Mr. Lawrence Muraya, who was talking about death and repatriation in the diaspora. Other topics covered in April included the Singapore Sevens and the death of former President Emilio Mwai Kibaki, and not forgetting that we skipped a show this month owing to technical difficulties. And I think that issue of technical difficulties, we already addressed it.
Covered,
yeah. And I want the audience to remember that we are looking for your favorite topic, your most impactful guest, your least favorite or most boring topic. We also want you to critique us on our bright and blind spots, and any important topics that we missed. Tell us what we did not cover. We further also want you to tell us about the guests that we should have hosted that we failed to do. So we've already been told about the ambassador. So start getting busy again in the comments. I'm gonna go to you, Bandio, and then I think Uno also wanted to talk about
swali la Pablo. Ni Pablo ameuliza?
Yes.
Yeah, ameuliza kama ninanywele Uno. Embo mwonyeshe Pablo huko. Haya Pablo, hapo ni mimi. Kofia leo sivui.
Hey, okay. Bandiolet.
Yeah,
let's call that bandiolet.
That's the real African soldier.
Mika, what do you call it? Ras twin?
Yes, Ras twin. It's a real African soldier. Na isio soldier.
Yeah.
Kwenye marasta kuna soldier for Ja revolution, not soldier for their revolution. Tuendelee.
Okay, and then Rasvika hapa anasema niko na job ya supervisor wa warehouse, Oxbridge, Massachusetts. Ebu tell a friend to tell a friend. And I think this is also gonna be another thing that I think we want to create. We want to create a network, because we have people who are managers, who are supervisors, who own companies, who are looking for employees, to connect employees and employers. I think that would be a good thing. You know, like if we find the right way to do it. Yes. If we find the right ways to do it. So Rasvik, tukipata mtu, we're going to recommend to anybody akipata mtu, talk to Rasvik.
Kama tulivyosema, kuelimisha, kuburudisha, kushirikisha.
Hapo kabisa.
Ukipata kitu kizuri, engage, educate,
And then Uno, you wanted to talk about death and repatriation. We in April we hosted Lawrence Muraya.
Yeah. So ideally, I think, and this is something that I believe when the community, and I'm specifically looking at the Kenyan community, it's something that you really need to think about. You really need to assess and process. And we'll post the show again, because it's getting to the point where every week or every other week or every week or every other day or every other 2 days or whatever, we are losing somebody. So mchango, it is becoming one of those things that it gets to a point where you start having to choose where you're going to direct your funds. Now,
if you changa for me, I changa for you. Period.
Yeah, but you see, if 10 people have changaed for you, and then
it's okay.
It's okay.
Pia mimi na wachangia.
So to alleviate the burden, Africa Welfare Association has a program where if you're a single guy, if you're a couple with kids, and your kids are below 18, I believe 18, you know, they're covered. And if you are above, when you get above 18, then you know you're an adult, so you can pay for yourself. But what this does, Africa Welfare Association, Africa Welfare Association.org alleviates. You don't have to worry about mchango, meaning from when you are in the morgue, the mortuary, like if you go to from funeral home to internment, if you pay, you're covered.
Okay. All right.
So it is I think it is something that we need to really look at, because the community is getting exhausted
Absolutely.
financially.
Yes.
Yep.
It is getting exhausted, and there's a way. In Baltimore, we have got, you know, MDKO, and MDKO in itself alleviates, it facilitates. So if you're a member, there's a facilitation, you get a certain career. But if you have MDKO and you've got hour,
Okay.
you are good. You're not becoming a burden.
Yeah, and that's, I think,
Neither is it burdening you.
It is not. It is not. So
Yeah.
I think it is important. Again, it is maybe like if you have a family, it's maybe about $300
For the year.
for the year. If you're a family, if you're a single guy, you're maybe looking about maybe $100 or something. If you're a single person,
Yeah.
male or female. But this is something that is actually used by diplomats. This is people. If people in the diplomatic corps, guys who are diplomats or whatever, are in this program, we actually should be in this program full frontal, all the way inside.
Acha niwaambie, wake up.
Oh, sorry.
Wake
Higher.
up.
So Africa Welfare Association, I'm telling you, that is going to be your best friend, and it will alleviate the burden. You don't have to worry about having a guy is going to come through for me,
And
or
the
let's say your
family
wife,
get us home.
for
bring
me
us
or your
back.
wife, which means that even your brother who is older, let your brother or your sister join that. If he or she is single, it is going to help them. It is not going to be a burden to you, because trust me, it is becoming expenditure.
Okay. Bandio.
Bandio.
Yeah.